Hello, my name is Benjamin de Boer. I am a trainer at HFM Talent Index. During this video, I'll be discussing learning agility. Learning agility is the ability to quickly develop new and effective behaviors based on new experiences. We're talking about the ability to learn, or how easy it is for you to perform successfully in new situations. This flexibility is partly due to your personality and partly due to your motivations, the things that you pay attention to in your work. And this makes it so that learning agility can be developed. And that is exactly the focus of the Learning Agility Go, to increase your learning agility. In order to start the Learning Agility Go, you need to have completed a number of steps. Assuming this is the first time that you complete an assessment with HFM Talent Index, this will look as follows. Firstly, you will have received an invitation via email for the Learning Agility Go. This email includes a link to activate your profile on the HFM Talent Index online environment. For this profile, you create a username and a password. Record these somewhere so you'll be able to find them later. It may also be useful to store the link to your personal homepage, for instance with a bookmark in your web browser. Next, you will complete 2 questionnaires online. These are the personality measure and the motivations test. The information from these 2 assessments will be used as part of your own Learning Agility Go. Now you are ready to start the development module from the Learning Agility Go. These checkmarks show that I have completed the questionnaires and thus can start the Learning Agility Go. Before I do that, I'll ask my colleague Caitlin to help us. Caitlin, could you introduce yourself?
Hi there, my name is Caitlin Kobal, one of the senior psychologists at HFM Talent Index.
On this first page, you'll get information on what learning agility is. Be sure to click on the left button if you want to learn more about its definition. Click on the right button if you want to get started. On this page, you'll see the results of the 2 questionnaires. Here you'll find your personality traits and motivations that together describe your learning agility, and their score is summarized in this orange part. The light blue part indicates how much you can grow your learning agility when you apply your Learning Agility Go. Caitlin, do you have any advice for us?
Use the Learning Agility Go as a development tool. The orange section of each graph describes your current score, while the blue section describes the extent to which you can develop. When working through the information, focus on the blue section, which we also refer to as your growth potential. Also pay attention to your personal characteristics, as these describe your ability to learn.
Now you will go through the information from each learning agility dimension, one by one. On these pages, you'll get to see the outcomes of the questionnaire, the results of which is summarized here. Below you can read different tips. You open a tip by clicking on it, and you can select a tip by clicking this button. The effect of selecting a tip can immediately be seen in the score. At the bottom you can write some keywords that come to mind when reading the tip, and once you're done with selecting tips, you can click next. Caitlin, do you have some advice here?
Click on each tip and read what it says. As you work through them, try to make them more practical and applicable to you by writing down keywords that you associate with each tip. Then look at the tips that you feel are most relevant to you and most relevant to your work context. At the end of this process, choose the tips that you feel you would most enjoy trying.
After you have selected your tips, you are presented with an overview of them. On this page, you are asked to create a list of top tips you will actually start to work on. You do this by dragging the tips. Caitlin, what is your advice for this page?
The stars next to each tip describe its overall effect on your learning agility. Fewer stars indicates a smaller impact. You should decide for yourself whether you would prefer to choose a tip with a large amount of stars that perhaps you don't find as enjoyable, or whether you'd prefer to choose a tip with a fewer amount of stars that is much more applicable and enjoyable to you. At the end of the day, we recommend that you find a balance and that you decide on the tips that are most applicable and easiest to fit in to your current work context.
This is the last page of the Learning Agility Go. Here you are provided with the option to work out your tips into actions. The keywords you have noted down before are shown to help you. You will go through all of your tips this way. Caitlin, what is your advice here?
Keep your actions practical and attainable. Try not to go too big or too abstract in your goals. An example you could use for people agility is to say, I think I'll go to a colleague and ask them a question instead of trying to figure this out by myself. We recommend that you follow the SMART methodology when setting goals and actions for yourself. Questions you can ask yourself are, is this action specific? Is it measurable? Is it attainable? Is it realistic? And is it time-bound?
When you are done with writing down the actions you intend to take, you click on I'm finished and confirm that. You will return to the home page. This log indicates that the Learning Agility Go is now closed. If you want to reopen it, you click on it again. The reports that you get from the Learning Agility Go can be found here. The top one is an extended version, the bottom one only contains the tips you have selected. Click on them to download. Caitlin, do you have any advice for us at the end?
You will likely not be the only one who has completed the Learning Agility Go. One great suggestion is to go to a colleague and share the tips that you have selected. Encourage them to do the same. We find that this helps to keep you focused on the actions and the goals you have selected and that you are working upon to increase your learning agility.
Increasing your learning agility. That is the goal of the Learning Agility Go. Caitlin, thank you very much for your advice. We at HFM Talent Index will also continue to work on our learning agility. So if you have any advice for us, please share it.